DEEP is the Dornoch Environmental Enhancement Project. It's a partnership between Glenmorangie, Heriot Watt and the Marine Conservation Society. And overall, DEEP seeks to restore native oysters to the Dornoch Firth. We've studied the oyster populations in the Dornoch Firth, and we found evidence that oysters were present right from the last glaciation 8 to 10,000 years ago, all the way up to about the 1800s, when they were probably fished out like they were everywhere else in Europe. Oysters are really important because they have ecosystem functions. So they're not just important for their biodiversity, they're also important for their blue carbon, the carbon that they deposit onto the seabed. They're important for improving water quality and providing habitat for potentially commercially important species. So businesses are increasingly interested in not just the biodiversity value of restoration, but the other services that these habitats provide. And in the DEEP project, we're very much interested in biodiversity, water quality, and increasingly blue carbon.
When we consider the oyster carbon picture, we can look at it a bit like a jigsaw. There's different components, and you need to measure all of the different parts to get the full overview. Oysters are filter feeders. They filter out food, sand, mud, carbon-containing crud from the water, digest the most nutritious bits, and deposit what's left down onto the sea floor as oyster poo. During this process, they also can enhance water clarity. Then you have the oyster shell. It's made of calcium carbonate. The process of calcification captures a bit of carbon and also releases some. There's also a release during respiration. So by looking at the full picture, we can start to discuss whether an oyster bed is actually drawing down carbon or if there is just an accretion of carbon. So whether you've got a case for climate mitigation here or carbon storage. And then past that, you have the fate of the carbon for the future, whether it's disturbed, bioturbated or eroded.
What we're interested in really is the carbon that's here to stay in these habitats. The key challenges that we have going forwards is how to keep these habitats undisturbed and protected. And if we can do it here, we can do it anywhere else.